All right. Hey, everybody. So it's Thursday. I had I guess what you would call an interesting week at school, and I figured I would come in with an update. I'm feeling a lot better, simply because I have so much support from classmates and other students, and I love the teachers at the school. And sometimes I guess it does pay to just be blunt and honest and say how you feel about certain things, because then you can at least get it out there and get things resolved or get whatever help it is that you need. So I finally ended up filling up two plates, and both of these are uncleaned. Our teacher wanted to show us like the difference between when you actually get all the meal scale off, blah blah blah, versus when you leave the meal scale on, you don't really clean in between passes and stuff like that. And I'm really excited. Next week we'll be doing actual etch testing, and I'm looking forward to that. But I learned a valuable lesson today, and I'm getting ready to show you the first plate that I did, which I was having some serious issues with. This is a vertical downhill. Now, this is the first plate that I ran, and I was having some issues. And come to find out, the problem that I was having had everything to do with my arc length. Um, and this is, I guess, a bit of ignorance on my part for not knowing. And I'm glad that the teacher basically said it, because this was giving me all kinds of problems. It doesn't look that bad, but um, I was having issues with all kinds of stuff, varying from like excess splatter that I wasn't having those problems before to this degree. And I was having issues with actually being able to see what I was doing in the way that I was actually trying to do MIG welding. And if you've been following me, you know I finished my stick welding course, and we're in our second quarter, so now I'm learning MIG. And I'm a novice to this. So there's a lot of stuff that I legitimately did not know, and the stuff that I am learning is interesting, but there are some things that I do have some slight pet peeves over. But this was the first plate that I was working on today, and you can see where I was having some issues. And mainly what was happening is I was keeping too tight of an arc length, and also because of that I was having issues with actually being able to see what was going on. So as you can see, I had a little bit of an issue right here. um, so basically I'm running from up here and then going down, and as you can see I had a issue when I ran up along this wall here. But over time I'm hoping that now that I understand what's going on with that part of it, I can do better. So here's another look at that. All right. Now this is the second one that I did, and as you can see, my overlapping got a lot tighter once I pulled back on my arc length. Um, I did have a little bit of an issue right here, but as you can see, there's a big difference in my progress versus what was going on in the beginning of the day, when I really was kind of oblivious about my arc length. And I'm glad that the teacher actually said something, because that would have been an ongoing problem and would have led to a lot of issues for me and frustration. Now, that being said, I don't think I did a bad job here, but I could have done better. And this is something that's constant with me. I always want to do better. I always want to get cleaner looking welds. I want to get better at actually getting my my rows more neat. Um, but not bad for somebody who is starting MIG, and I've never done MIG before going to school. So this is my progress. Now let me put these two next to each other. This is the one that I did at first, and this is the one, this right here is the one that I did after this one. So you can see there is a difference in how neat my layers, my overlap is after actually being told to not keep as tight of an arc length. Another thing that I learned today, which is actually kind of funny but frustrating, um, and this is something that I thought, why not actually keep hang on to it so I can show it to you. Something that frustrated me to no end. Now this is something that happened due to the fact that I was keeping way too tight of an arc length. It only happened once, but it was enough to cause me to start questioning, hey, what's going on? Um, there's another issue that this can arise from, and this is going to be my segue into talking about MIG versus me doing stick. With MIG, there's a ton of cleaning that nozzle. There's a ton of cleaning it because it'll just get build up. So it's like every 3 beads that I lay down, I've become very meticulous about cleaning it because I don't need this type of stuff happening to me. Um, Another thing, since I actually have it, hopefully, this. This is what happens when you get burned back. I believe is the term is what the teacher said, and this is what was frustrating me from not knowing about keeping that arc length less tight, because it's a totally different thing than stick. And I figured I would share this little issue that I had just to show that sometimes I do have my issues going on with me while I'm in school. And sometimes it's that issue of just saying something about it. And once again, I had my second, this is the first time I had something like that happen. And after learning about my arc length and keeping it the way that I need to keep it, it hasn't happened again. So I'm thankful for that tidbit, and it's made me better at MIG. But oh, say hi, Salem. Say hi. But you can probably just imagine how infuriating it is. You're sitting there, you're minding your business, you clean out the nozzle, and bam, you end up with this because of keeping way too tight of an arc length and having a dirty nozzle. Um, so that's one of those um, embarrassing moments, but that's something that I'm thankful for in school. That it wasn't just me that had something like that happen to them, but this is like my first time of being in a situation where, in school anyway, where I feel as though I'm glad that that happened because now I can fully understand why some certain things cause certain issues. So that is actually a blessing for me, a wonderful, unfortunate event that led to more knowledge. Um, Another thing that I am actually really happy about, in a sense of actually saying stuff about how I felt, it made me feel a little bit more comfortable in my surroundings, just because I knew that it was okay for me to say how I was feeling. It was okay for me to actually express my concerns as a student. And that overall actually gave me even more respect than I already had for all of the teachers, just because um, I know that that situation could have been handled in a whole bunch of different ways. And in this case, really, Salem, he really likes attention, if you haven't noticed. Um, but I'm just so thankful for this opportunity to learn how to weld from so many wonderful teachers. And I'm also thankful for being able to meet so many different people who share the same interests, even if they're not trying to do the exact same thing. Like, I get so much inspiration from listening to my classmates and the things that they say that they want to do. And I'm pretty sure it's an interesting situation to be in when a teacher actually allows you, hey, if you finish what you're doing, you can go ahead and try to practice on scrap. That gives you more welding hours and welding time. And I'm that type of person. I like to try to get things right. So I really wasn't feeling all that great this week for a list of reasons, but after all of the positive support and the things that have been done, and the fact that people actually listen to my concerns, it made me feel a little bit more secure in that situation, that my education is actually indeed important, and that is understood, that that's something that is important to me, because I'm not just doing this to be a hobbyist. I'm not just doing this to be an artist. I actually legitimately want this to be a career for me. And so it's important to me. And I know I ramble on so much about that because I get so passionate. Well, I am so passionate about welding. Now, I will say this: cleaning that daggone nozzle every 3 passes, considering how often I like to keep my stuff neat, I never thought that I would be in a position that I would start getting irritated about having to clean something. So that's something that I actually found myself kind of laughing about and making little jokes about, because with stick, just light up and go. Yeah, you might end up having other little complications that could come up with that, but since MIG is so new to me, I'm learning all of those little quirky things that come up when doing that. Now that I've been doing it for this little period of time, I'm warming up to it a little bit more. I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable with it. Um, the the thing that actually has me laughing now is I'm finding uh, I'm finding that actually learning the process and actually trying to figure stuff out is kind of therapeutic for me in a sense, even though I do get frustrated at times when it comes to trying to get things just right, or when I can see I'm making a mistake, or what I perceive to be a mistake. But overall, I'm actually going to stop being so hard on myself, because I know for a fact I'm making progress to being better. And I think that the fact that I don't have a ton of porosity, I don't have a ton of wormholes, I don't have a huge amount of undercut, is saying that I'm doing a decent job. Now, part of the reason why that's important to me is I aspire to one day work on a bridge. I would like to do that. That is something that is on my bucket list of things to do. Ever since I was little, that's something that I've just wanted to do. Um, but yeah, I think I should stop being so hard on myself, because at least when you're looking at this, for somebody who doesn't have a ton of experience, you can see my bead pattern. You can see, you can legitimately see what I was intending to do. And I'm filling up the plate pretty decent. See? So I'm going to stop being so hard on myself. I'm actually going to keep on trying to make better progress and do better. And that's something that I'm learning from this is progress, no matter how small, no matter how slow, is always a good thing. And it's better for me to look at it as I can learn from that mistake, or I can become better, or I can actually critique myself and say, hey, um, here I could have went I could have actually went over a little bit more to avoid having this little bit of undercut on the side right here. So that tells me the next time I actually go into this, I'll pay more attention to trying to make sure that I walk that pedal up over on that side. Um, and there's a bunch of little things that I know for a fact has helped me to become better at actually learning, just by actually listening to the critique that's being said to me. And in fact, the thing that I think is kind of funny about me, I actually don't mind critique if a person actually gives me a solution to fixing the problem. Like, I don't mind constructive criticism, because that means you're helping to get me to be better. Uh, so, yeah, I just wanted to chime in and say that I'm actually doing better. I feel better. Those thoughts of me just being like, I can't, I don't want to deal with, like, it happens. And I figured I would share that when it happened, just because that's part of my journey. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing good, staying blessed, and feeling well. And I will see you all next time. Bye.